Greetings, beloved. Welcome to my Star Empire. This is Willetta Kidan. Like always, I'm really excited to see you. Yeah, I mean, being conscious of the things we want and not want, and given how we want different things in different phases of our lives, right? What I truly want at this point in my life may be something that I never wanted when I was 13 or 15, right? So I would say actually like I'm questioning everything as if I was born yesterday, like this morning I woke up. Actually, it started yesterday, last night, but like it's a continuation of the patterns that I saw in myself that I didn't like. Lately, I caught these negative patterns of self-absorption, like being self-absorbed and feeling entitled in some cases, The deeper I go within myself, I found out that I was letting my personal experiences create a friction in my relationships, in my personal relationships. So, there is nothing that I care about the people I love. And also, like this is the reason, like humanity is the reason why I want to be in this mission, that why I want to stay in this mission. So how can I actually enhance my communication skill, and how can I be considerate of other people and their wants and not wants, right? How can I learn about compromisation, for example? How can I create a harmonious world within myself and this in the external as well, right? So I'm questioning everything because the one thing that we want, we say that we want money, we want relationship, we want a break, we want vacation, but like the biggest thing I believe, as per my belief, the biggest thing that we want the most is clarity. Once you have clarity, actually it's like you have the key to everything that you want and not want, like to yourself, you have the key to everything in life. I would say that's what clarity is. Mostly like people want to listen to their intuition, sit in a meditation for hours because they seek clarity, right? So sometimes we are so driven by our desires of having something or not having something, we forget to examine the truthfulness of those things, right? Like, how true is it that I want to be married? How true is that to myself? Is it just I am I operating from a space of fulfilling society's expectation, or maybe like how I feel I should be like in my childhood, right? Or is it like a genuine quest from my side? And it's determined by us, by the way. Like no one can actually come to you and tell you you shouldn't be wanting this, or like it's impossible to want this, right? It's up to you. So that's why I'm questioning everything. So, yeah, my intention is to rise above these negative patterns and then being able to communicate smoothly and lovingly with other beings, right? Because that's what I'm here to do, to feel connected, to give love and to receive love. So some of the questions that I'm actually raising is I mean, like I will give you as an example. It's not that I want to talk about myself or what it is that I'm questioning. But, anyways, like when you see how I question things in my life, it will give you a pointer. Maybe if you are in that phase where you felt like you need to pause, right? You need to pause, you need to come to your senses, and you have to reevaluate what you are doing and the steps that you are taking. Maybe you might benefit a lot from this video. So, the things that I'm questioning about, like for example, about my mission, how do I want to go about this mission, right? If I am to stay in this mission, how do I want to go about it? And the other one is, how can I be my best self while taking part in this mission? Sometimes, honestly, I have to admit to you, I felt like I'm burdened by this mission. There was days, like everyone else, I have good days and not so good days, right? I wouldn't say bad. I wouldn't see that my experiences as bad because I know that they are adding value, but they might not be. Some days are just, very uplifting and busy and being guided to different places. Just, everything is going well. And some days, I am somewhere just sitting, processing some kind of emotional pain or mental body wounding or any blockage, working my way out of a blockage, you know? So, how can I maintain my best self? How can I let this mission make me my best self, right? Like, it's not that I have to go hard on myself, right? Like, for me to be productive, for example, sometimes, which might be the case with me, by going hard on myself, I understand that as being productive. Today, for example, I'm just taking a break from everything, just giving myself that opportunity. I took myself out for lunch in my Ethiopian restaurant and just, like trying to soothe myself in some way. Okay. So that's like, it's like, spending Monday in a Sunday way for me is a way of prioritizing myself and just, like telling myself that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You just have to forgive yourself. You're not perfect, right? Maybe you've messed up, but things are going to change. So having that self-care and self-love for myself while I am in this mission, no matter what happens, right? When you are aware of different things simultaneously at the same time, some things are going well, some things are not going well, but my understanding is, especially right now, my understanding is that what's meant for me is always going to be there. What's meant for me is not going to miss me. If I am meant to achieve something, I will achieve it, whether I insist on it or just even withdraw from it for the time being. It doesn't matter. Actually, like, I have a minimal control over this, right? Because who am I? I'm not a separate entity from life itself. Like, even though I have individuality, like, I have my free will is only limited with my own choices of how to react, how to respond to my external situation, right? Like, how to respond emotionally, mentally. I can control my emotions, my own emotions and thoughts, right? My inner self, but not the outside. So how can I stop letting the circumstances of my life influence my happiness and my contentment and my peace within, and still be in this mission and try my best in this mission? So this question, like, um yeah, I have the answers for all of these questions. Maybe I will just, the answer will come back later also, like more answers will be coming later, maybe in a week or in 2 weeks. I may have a full picture of all of these, but raising these questions is very nice and fundamental because it's helping me to communicate my needs. Okay, it's just when it's like just a sum of wants and inspiration. It's just when it's a totality of inspiration. When you ask someone, let's say, like, to be your team or to collaborate with you in some kind of artwork, if you are not clear about what you want to achieve through that collaboration, it's like, still, it's a distorted thing, right? It's that person is not going to understand it. You yourself don't understand it because you are not raising the right questions before you begin to work on what you want to work. So the other question is, actually, it's very interesting. How does this mission can be integrated with my personal life, right? So sometimes, if you see my passion that I have in this mission, it might raise a question for myself, even in the eyes of others, because, like, I come at this mission, like, as a devotee, right? Like, it's just, I am devoting myself to this mission, which I understood isn't right. Even though there is a level of devotion that's required to be on this mission, it's not going to be at the expense of my personal life. So I have a personal life that, in my inner circle, I have friends and I have a love life and maybe children, right? Like, how am I going to work it out between this mission and my personal life? Why should I feel like I have to stay in this mission? How is this mission serving my best interests? Okay, so why this mission for me? I found some answers, actually, later they came up. And the first reason why I want to be in this mission is that it's the continuation of the service from a past life. I told you that I'm connected to the majesty on a deeper level. So this is my mission, right? This is something that I did before this lifetime. So it's a continuation of the service. And also, the second reason is my care and my love for humanity and the desire to bring justice into the game. Okay. So I told you, like, even my background, I have studied law, Ethiopian law in my country. So I have always had that calling by justice. So, these things combined, okay, it makes sense why I should be staying in this mission. But at the same time, it can't be while I'm feeling like I'm burdened by it, right? Like, it's not work, even though it requires most of my time and the energy as of now. It's not like I am working. It's like when you do something that you love, it's effortless, it's relaxing, right? So for me, how can I make this mission in that way? So the other example, like the other stuff that I question about my personal life is that it's been 2 years that I've been saying that I want to be married and I want to have kids. Okay. So it's one of my desires, my heart's desire to be married and to have a meaningful marriage and family life. Okay. But that's not something that's been, it's not been the case all the time. Okay. In my, actually, I would say until mid 20s, I have always said that marriage is prison. I don't want to be married. It's just a social agreement and nothing more. So also in my childhood, my father unknowingly, I know that it's unconscious, but like he used to say that with my strong individuality and intelligence that I have as a woman, he say something like, "I'm not accepted in a traditional sense as a wife." He would say something like, "No man would ever want to deal with you, because you are extremely intelligent or something, like individual, right? Like you have your own opinions. So most of men want a woman that just agrees with them and just give them beautiful babies. And most men in society that I grew up in literally treat women as some kind of instrument for their own goals and dreams. And my father could see from childhood that I'm always a dreamer. I'm that type of girl that wouldn't just do something out of irrational urge. Okay, so he knew that I'm reasonable. So he would say something like, "Oh, you know that like you will never find a husband because you are not the typical wife material, right?" So like that thing that he used to say when I was a child, actually I believed it. And it created a blockage, an energy block. He cursed me. Basically, that's what he did, right? Like, it's like we've been, especially African kids, we've been verbally cursed by our parents and by our community. It's not only the case with me. Actually, I had a client 2 days ago. I had a Reiki client, and actually, like, he told me that he self sabotage. Like, he would do something, and then 90% of it is done, and he would just quit like that. So I learned in our healing session, in the healing session that he had with me, that he's been cursed by his own relatives to not succeed with his success. So that's why he just drops out every time that he is going to succeed. He feels fear. Okay. What they tried to do with that curse is to create fear within himself. So my fear of abandonment didn't only come from my parents, the divorce of my parents, or like my sexual abuse, but also the fact that my father constantly said that no one will love me for who I am. And truly, truly, like, it's sitting in the back of my head. I felt it in my subconscious, actually, as I was healing myself. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that affected me this much, because I was just a little girl, like just trying to be herself. And the other thing is, I was shamed for exploring my sexuality in my body in my childhood. When you are, what do you call it, like old soul, like you are expanded as you are created already. Like, I have always been intuitive, and I am an old soul. So even as a child, I would relate to my body in a different way. So I was shamed. In my childhood, I was told that it's not right to touch parts of your body or something like that. Like, I was shamed for these things at a very early age. So that too, like, I have guilt and shame in my womb space and stuff. So my father, what he didn't realize is for himself also, that he was actually like projecting some negative energy onto me about my love life, that actually I suspect that followed me to this point, because all of my relationships were dysfunctional, which is true for 90% of us actually. But as I heal myself more and more, even the relationships I attract later after I started healing were even more dysfunctional. Because like I heard one lady, like she's a mystic and healer. I saw her interview and she said the more we are connected to our intuition, the more we suffer, because now we are aware of the lies that we are telling. We are aware of the deceivements that we have within ourselves. We are aware of the wrongs and the rights in the world. So, the more healing that you have, the more you work on yourself, the more you are confronted with the shadow of this world, right? So anyways, like now I'm at a point in my life where I would just, want to receive, and spirit is asking me literally to just receive, right? Like to open my hands and just sit here, not wanting to control anything, not having expectation whatsoever, and like releasing outcome, that I can't say it enough, releasing outcome, right? So I asked myself, what do I want to be married at the end of the day? If I have always said, like, I know that all of my friends who are married aren't happy, but at the same time, can I be an exception to the general rule? If yes, how can I be that person? Like, what does it mean to be a wife, or what does it mean to have a husband? And what is the premise, like the foundation for my want to get married, right? So one of some of the answers that I found is the number one thing I would say is the desire to build together, like the desire to build something together, like a life together with someone. Because like I am very much interested in building, I'm a builder in nature. So the desire to build with together with someone. And the other thing could be emotional support, right? Like seeking emotional support from someone, and like being emotionally supported, and also supporting them emotionally as well. um the third one I thought like is very lovely, is that to be known deeply by someone other than myself. And I think it's very fulfilling to be known deeply by someone other than yourself. And it's just comfortable, like some people may seek validation from everywhere because they don't get it from the person that next to them, right? Sometimes it's like the biggest the validation comes from within in the first place, right? But that validation that you have for yourself, when it's like supported by another person's validation also, like who cares about you and who truly loves you and likes you, I think it's very fulfilling. So I also have some other reasons, personal reasons, that I wouldn't say in the channel, but like after knowing these reasons, it made sense to me that why I it made sense to me that like why I should be married, and why I should stay, why I should encourage myself to have this warmth, and actually to open myself up for the possibility that I might end up getting married sooner than later. And like as per like like since I have wanted to be married the past 2 years. I told you I have like unsuccessful trials when it comes to marriage, and like finding the right husband, or to be found by someone that has a right wife. um so I I have the lifestyle of a wife even now. Like as a single person, even like I don't like going out at night, and I'm very much contented, like in my like in my own bubble at home, right? Like it's just either meditating or doing something for myself. And every contacts that I have are mostly my work. And also like I wouldn't let actually people hit on me. Like I'm not the type of person that a man would hit on. I wouldn't allow that. I don't like wasting other people's time, and I am clear about what I want. So if it's that I'm impressed by someone, that I'm just with them, like right, I will start just navigating. Otherwise, like I'm not the type of person that likes attention from men for no reason. So I would say more or less I'm a wife material as I am. But like I know that there's going to be, like, for example, I'm really comfortable in my private space. I am used to just being by myself, right? And once I have my family, it would mean that someone is screaming in the next room, and someone is asking me to do something for them. Maybe my kids, one of my kids wants to dress up, and while the other one is wanting to take shower. So how am I going to be out of the zone that I have right now? How am I going to be like handling that? And how would I feel in my body while carrying a child, right? Like, I am like this now. I am in a good shape, right? Like, I'm slim. And if I carry a child, I would just, like, I would be big, for example. And it's just in general, how would it feel in my body to carry a child? And how would it make me feel to have that experience, to have that personal experience? So, anyways, like, the more I ask these questions myself, the more clear I become about what I want. So next time, maybe if I wanna, um, when I have to speak to someone or people about what I'm wanting, what I'm looking for, these questions, having the answer for these questions is going to be very, very helpful. um and yeah, I'm questioning some of the things too. I'm questioning some of the things, not everything. And some things I am really clear about that I wouldn't want to question, but especially my personal relationships and my mission, this mission, I keep on asking. So I encourage you to do this journal exercise for yourself in order to be clear about what you want, and actually just don't say you want something or you don't want something without knowing yourself. I think it came from, for me, all of my wants are coming from the understanding of self and the person I am, and like my capability, my skill in handling the things that I want, and in the receivement of those things, and in being able to compromise on some things that I wouldn't necessarily like, because it's what it takes to have a social life, right? So I would just generally encourage you to work on this if you like, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and subscribe for more, and like and share and comment, and let me know what your thoughts are. I love you so much, and I wish you a great day. Rastafari. Thank you.